Hey guys, welcome back to TA. It's Brendan again. I wanted to make you a loaf of sourdough to help bring in International Sourdough Day. Sourdough is my favorite type of carb, hands down. It beats out potatoes, it beats out rice, it beats out all pasta. I just love a good leavened bread, and sourdough is the oldest of these. So sourdough is fun, hard, and enjoyable all at the same time. And just like any good start in life, you need a good mother. We got our mother here that I feed every day. A mother is simply a bread starter. It's using the natural yeast in the air that just feeds off of the flour and warm water that you provide for an environment, creating this beautiful, fluffy, natural yeast that has this nice sour tinge to it. So we want to start off with our yeast. It is 100 grams of yeast mixture, mother, biga, starter, whatever you want to call it. I'll keep this over here because we're going to do that again for another loaf. Secondly, we're going to grab our flour and we're going to go for 3 cups. Now baking is an exact science, so if your measurements are off, it's not going to work out. The beauty with sourdough, it's a little more forgiving than say a cake or a pastry, something like that. So you have some room to eyeball. Now we need our hot water. Now when I say hot, I don't mean boiling, but it has to be a little warmer than warm. So if you can put your fingers in for about 2 seconds and then you're happy, then that should be about it. In with our half cup of water. And then one more half cup. So essentially our ratio is 3 to 1 for our flour to water. After that, we are going to reach out here and grab our dough hook. For baking your bread, you want to use the dough hook because we are making a dough. Turn that on at a medium-high mix and let it do its magic. You'll start to see it pulling the flour into the dough off the sides. If it's looking a little dry right now, don't worry. There is enough liquid in there. It just has to incorporate in with all the flour. Now, while that's happening, I'm going to get a little bit of flour onto our work surface so we can get the kneading of this dough done after it comes out of the mixer. Now, for your kneading surface, make sure you've cleaned it. Now, we bring our dough out. Once it's together, we're going to start folding it. Working it just like this. Just finishing off what the dough hook started, really making sure everything's spread out. Now once you get a nice sort of disc, you can feel that it's not too floury and not too sticky to the touch. We're gonna add our dash of salt, and we're gonna make sure that's incorporated in by mixing. So for your pans, take a small dollop of oil, paper towel, just to really make sure nothing sticks, but you don't want anything really gunked up on the sides. Take a touch of flour, sprinkle it in, just bang it around. Get yourself a nice little coating on the outside of that pan. Drop in your dough. And that is going to rest for 8 to 12 hours. We'll revisit this tomorrow when we bake this beautiful loaf. Now I'm going to repeat that 4 more times. We're going to use up all of this starter. That way everyone gets a bite of sourdough tomorrow. Hey guys, welcome back. I told you we'd be back with our sourdough. Now, we let it proof overnight. My loaf has overproofed. That's why you see this extra little bulge on the side. Good news is, it's okay. We're just gonna throw it in our Fontana Margherita pizza oven. Now you might be thinking, that's not a pizza. You're right, it's not. Let me just grab my paddle so I can slide this in. Now our oven is preset to 400 degrees. Now you wanna slide it all the way back. And we're just gonna keep an eye on it as it bakes. It should take about 10 minutes, then you rotate it to get nice even browning on the other side. So I'll just toss in my other loaf so we can get two at a time. I'm just gonna pop the cover back on to keep that oven-like temperature for a little bit. We'll check on it in a minute. Once you get familiar with your oven, you'll know how long it'll take, about 10 minutes aside, and then you can cover it up, walk away for 5, come back, check on it, and you're good to go. But getting familiar with an oven, you always want to keep an eye on your product, because there's nothing worse than a burnt loaf. So we start to see it right here. We're still a little pale on some areas, so we're not quite done. But we'll check out our other loaves. Look at that beautiful crust. Listen to this. That's nice. All right, guys, our loaves are nice and crisp. I'll bring them over to show you the color you should get. I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds almost hollow. That's what you're looking for. And then you want to bring them over to cool. Don't cut into them right away. Give them about 10 minutes. And then we can enjoy some fresh sourdough bread. Thanks for joining me for a loaf of sourdough in a wood fire pizza oven. I hope you get to try this at home with your very own. Subscribe for more. We'll see you around.